Hello, everyone. My name is Paulius Vaina. I represent the EU project, Connectivity in Central Asia. I'm telling that not to advertise the project, but so you understand the context of my presentation and where I'm coming from. So, and of course, I want to thank organizers of this event for having me here and letting me present. We started this project this year in January. So I've been here for 6 months, so don't judge me too harshly. My presentation will be basically the insights of our 6 months staying in Central Asia and observing telecom sector. And also we have done 3 analyses for Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan, and I will share some of the recommendations there. I think what they say. There's few certain things in life. It's taxes, death, and I think it's policy. So let's go with it. Of course, all of those subjects, death, taxes, and politics, are a little bit boring, but I will try to make it as fun as possible. I think, when it comes to user choice and experience, we all enjoy our cell phones and what possibilities it deliver, all TikToks and social media and stuff like that. And when we talk about 1 gigabyte connectivity, 5G, when those opportunities come to our life, it is amazing. But I think in terms what dampens our experience or makes it less good, so to say, is when operators try to sell us triple play. It means when you get the package of home internet, mobile internet, and TV sets at home, when you cannot buy those products separately, or when zero-rated services are being offered. Zero-rated services is something that is offered for free. Either it's social media or music streaming, whatever thing. This is well, it has negative aspects on the connectivity. And when we speak about user choice and experience, we have different cuts, of course. You have city and rural connectivity. It is easy for operators to develop networks in the cities because this is low-hanging fruit. And in rural areas, it is more expensive, especially in countries like Kazakhstan or in other Central Asian countries where you have mountains. Another cut could be young and aging population, where young people is, if you give them infrastructure, you give them connectivity, they're happy with that. With aging population, you must have a different story, different attitude. You have to help them to adapt and to use it. So talking about challenges in infrastructure, also in previous presentations, and I'm pretty sure that the colleagues will say the same, that data volume nowadays are growing exponentially. And I think, for example, one of the questions in Europe and in the world in general, I think it's about the financing model. It's about the financing model of infrastructure. Nowadays, we expect that the networks are fantastic, they're fast, they're resilient, they don't stop, they don't break. And if you take a whole triangle and if you look who contributes most to the networks, is telecoms operators, these guys. Of course, content providers, they do have their share in financing models, but the heaviest part is definitely on telecom operators. So. And then the myth here, when we talk about infrastructure, I think is about the lowest service price, whether it's in the region or anything. Like, okay, I remember those days when back in my country, we were a country with the lowest service price for mobile or fixed broadband. I think lowest price is just one of the aspects. I would say that when we talk about the lower service price, we really have to also talk about quality. about how infrastructure is spread within the country. And of course, from perspective of international organizations, they believe if person is spending less than 2% of his income on connectivity, it's good. But just so the myth of lowest price itself, I don't think that it should be taken alone. So I'm moving to my next slide, and I want to talk a little bit about the regulation. Well, regulation from user perspective, if a user gets fantastic service, mobile, fixed internet, whatever, he's happy, he's satisfied, and we have the saying that customer is king, and we must not forget that we are users, we are paying for all the products on the market, we are financing them. But and the job for market players and governments, of course, is not the easy job. We all know that market players, for market players, it is a difficult barrier to enter the telecoms market because you have to invest heavily in the sector. And in order to build your business case and create value for the services. But I think governments, they have even a tougher job. They're left with leftovers after the cherry picking from the business cases. In this region, I hear a lot that governments also have to ensure rapid growth of ×2, like compared to other countries in the world, because this region develops and AI is coming and other new products are coming, and this development is really needed. So governments are left with ex-post regulation. Ex-post regulation is something that after market reaches its maturity, governments has to have appropriate toolbox to regulate the market. And in that sense, we'll come to the recommendations a little bit later. And talking about regulation and competition, these are two related things. So I just talked about toolbox, right? But just to develop a policy and this toolbox, it doesn't happen overnight. Our society, we want TikTok, something that you can swipe fast, and that's it. For politics, why it is boring? You have to develop for 2 years, then you have to implement it for 2 years, then you might get the results after 2 years. It doesn't happen overnight. But I think the positive thing about it, or value added about regulation, is that it helps for the market to survive, to provide fair game in the market. And I'm in the policy area for about 24 years. So I heard so many times, I heard the story from infrastructure developers that, if you will regulate more, we'll not invest. We just not invest because we'll not be able to afford because of your regulation. And I think this is a myth. If it would be so, I won't be here for 24 years and we will not still be going, I think. And I want to say a few words about digital ecosystem development. I think, to make a strategy for AI or digital transformation, it's not a job that is too difficult. When it gets difficult, it's when you try to add all the information you have, all the toolbox, when you need to leverage investment. And I also have added communication. I think, especially for governments, it is important to communicate with the business sector. Because this is exactly those guys who will build a better network, a wider network in the country, and governments will have a smaller leftovers or smaller areas to fix and bring the last mile connectivity. And in that sense, I want to talk about indexes and indicators that we have, e-government development index or something like that. There is a saying that from point of experience is a different thing to cry in Rolls-Royce or to cry in the old Volkswagen. Yes, it is, and it is depending on your standing in the indexes. You know, when this the Electronic Government Development Index, for example, Kazakhstan already reached the 24th place, and other countries in the region, they're also picking up, you know. Yes, it's a lot about what you do on the national level, you know. But when it comes to regional level, I think that in the region, you cannot have a development, you cannot take the top places in the indexes, and all the countries around will be like dropped with really low index figures, stuff like that. Nowadays, it's a lot about regional development, and I think we also don't need to forget that. And the third layer would be international development and cooperation. And talking about, you know, regional development, I think for Central Asian region, it would be important to cooperate on the measures like roam like at home, where internet would be, I'm sorry, not internet, but roaming would be included in your monthly bill. I think it would help a lot to the region, or develop satellite connectivity, internet exchange points. When it comes to international development, I think this is a higher level. This way country can send their representatives to be elected in international organizations, and to impact organizations and development of internet like that. And the myth here is that I don't think that we can afford to move on our own. I think success stories, if our region is successful, then we can say it is a success story. And the last slide, it is my last slide. So this is the result of the analysis we did in Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. So I'll briefly just mention that I think it is important that your policy is based on information, that you collect figures and make annual reports. I think we missed, while doing this analysis, we missed this information, you know. Also, the Central Asian countries could advance in broadband mapping. You know, it can help to advance with the broadband development in the country, at least to see where it's developed, where it's not. Then also to move with the SMP regulations. The operators that have significant market power, they have to be regulated more heavily. And last but not least, I think all the policies should be user-centric, and I think it helps the regional development, especially when we're talking about roaming services, satellite connectivity, and internet exchange points. Thank you. I was trying to run as fast as I can.